period. We're being joined by a very astute security expert, Dr. Yahuza Ahmed Getso, this morning, just to give us insight to what is really happening in Plateau State and what the expectation of Nigerians should be this morning. Good morning, Dr. Getso. Good to have you on the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. I've basically given a rundown of what the situation is. The numbers are rising. The issue is really troubling. Whilst the people of Plateau State should have been celebrating the Christmas, we see the fact that they had been preempted, that they would be caused to be running around on Christmas Day with their chicken and rice in their hand, and literally that's what happened to the people of Plateau State. What exactly is the state of situations there?
Well, the situation is very pathetic, a very saddened situation and very saddened circumstance. It is an exhibition of negligence from the authorities concerned and the agencies concerned that could have dealt with the situation long before. It will be really alarming. It will be more alarming to note that there is no community in Nigeria that is safe, because these attacks have been on and off right since almost over 30 to 35 years. And we have said time without number that those culprits, those who are responsible, those who are facilitating, those who are aiding these criminals to commit these offenses are known. And even if they are not known, how much Nigeria has been spending to train intelligence personnel? These personnel could have been able to fish out the culprits and deal with them. But we have 7 problems. 1, we have lack of and we are understaffing. 2, we have internal sabotage. 3, we have negligence. And 4, we have competing circumstances between the security agencies, where one is competing with one another. Everyone want to show shoulder that I am Nigerian Army, I'm the one doing. I'm Nigerian Air Force, I'm the one doing. I'm Nigerian Navy, I'm Nigerian Police, I'm Nigerian Civil Defense, I'm Nigerian Custom, I'm Nigerian Immigration. And all of them are doing rubbish. Why? Because we don't see the results. Thousands and millions and trillions of money are being spent every now and then. Every president will say that I will borrow money to utilize it to improve the security. But rather than getting secured, we are becoming unsecured by day. We are becoming unsecured and we are embarrassing ourselves before the international community. Why? Because of 3 reasons. 1, we are unable to even conduct a root cause analysis to have a documented evidence that trusts what are really the causes of these challenges of insecurity. And 2, we are unable to manage what we have available on the tray, because we are seeing many things on the surface already available put on the tray, identifying figures and individuals and groups that are responsible for all these. And 3, we continue to deceive ourselves using religious and tribal bigotry, saying that this is Birom, this is Fulani, this is Hausa, this is Yoruba, this is Igbo, this is Ipipio. But at the high level, at the center of the corruption, which has eaten us deep and is still diving into us, there is no Ngozi, no Aliyu, no Muhammadu, no Onguruko. They are all Nigerians at that level. They are siphoning our resources, building and buying mansions in England, Dubai, US, and other parts of the rich world.
Dr. Getso,
while they are creating gaps whereby we are killing ourselves unnecessarily. How can you tell me that 190 people is really inhuman on an Xmas day, at a period when every religious cleric have been preaching peace, love, understanding, passion and compassion for one another, human respect. And still, after a few days after, the same communities received a receipt of a letter that they will be attacked more and more, and nobody yet is able. How can you tell me that within 24 hours, the Nigerian security agencies and our intelligence, if they are really professional, if they are really not quack?
All right, Doctor, let's get something straight up here. Now, for the longest time, the Nigerian government have been telling us that high and mighty, or the elite, or influential Nigerians, as they choose to call it, are the ones financing acts of terrorism in the country. The biggest questions Nigerians have been asking, and I'd like to put that forward to you this morning. Does it feel, would you say that the federal government is afraid of the people who are sponsors of terrorism in this country, or these people are bigger than the Nigerian government, or is a matter of connivance between people in the high-ranking status in the Nigerian government and these terrorists, or the so-called influential Nigerians who are financing terrorism?
Well, I want to say yes in capital, bold, and italic, and underlined, for several reasons. In Katsina, Sokoto, Kebbi, Zamfara, all the areas where these guys are perpetrating their activities, are conducting their activities, Plateau State inclusive, we have not seen yet one person that has been brought before the court of law charging him or her, or charging them with the issues of financing this criminality. And yet, it's really very clear that we don't really have a serious government. We don't really have a responsible government. We are almost saying that you don't have a government. Because in a situation whereby you have almost 101 government in Nigeria, whereby somebody will commit an offense, kill people in hundreds, and it will take more than 24 hours without fishing who is really responsible. Not even 24 hours. In some cases, 20, 30 years. Thousands and hundreds of our students have been kidnapped in the hands of rubbish and idiot cowards. And yet nobody identified their whereabouts. Nobody was able for a number of months. And still, there was attack many times in this year between January to December that we are in Bariki Ladi, in Mangu, in many other parts of Plateau State, and many other parts of the country. If we really know who are these influencers, if we really know who are these elites, if we really have any iota of a significant reason, why can't we bring them before the court of law? Why can't the government bring them to the book? Why can't the government deal with them decisively, so that can serve as a deterrence for others to be careful?
But at the end of the day, the civilians are the ones that are really taking the fall for this insecurity, because there are no high and mighties living in Mangu local government of Plateau State. It's the common woman and man running helter-skelter looking for how to save their children.
It's not the civilian, it is the masses. Because those elites that you mentioned earlier are part of the civilians, and it have not been affecting them in any way. They are in Lagos, they are in Abuja, they are in Port Harcourt, they are in Kano, they are in Kaduna. Probably, maybe some of them are even outside the country, in UK, US, Israel, Dubai, and other places.
Dr. Getso, one of the problems that we have with this Plateau massacre is the fact that it is reported that the particular incident lasted for about 48 hours, and they continued to send out distress calls to the Nigerian army, but then there was no quick response. And also, it is reported that the information of that particular Christmas Day attack had been sent out. Intelligence had been gathered by the Nigerian military and other security agencies. Why do we see this level of negligence? And also, remember, in recent times, we've had the Nigerian Air Force, the Nigerian military saying we are smoking out, terrorists. We are attacking their hideouts and smoking them out. How come we are still having this kind of stronghold happening in the north of Nigeria?
It's because we have an irresponsible government. It's because we have government that is not ready to sit to its responsibility. It's because of the internal negligence, internal sabotage and the negligence. It's because of inability of the authority concerned to fish out those who are responsible and try them so that could have served as a deterrence for others. It's because we have been promoting personnel, members of the Nigerian Armed Forces, Nigerian Air Force, and other paramilitaries from one rank to another without questioning. Why will you be promoted while in the area of your jurisdiction, killings, kidnapping, a number of different atrocities are being committed? If any colonel or brigadier or general have been demoted, or any commissioner of police have been demoted at once, or any deputy commissioner of police, or even a divisional police officer to be demoted from an ASP to inspector, simply because you have not been able to professionally deal and manage with the situation and security circumstance in an area of jurisdiction that you have been given the responsibility to. They were sworn in. They took oath that they are going to provide, to do everything possible to secure this nation. But since they are not doing it, why can't the government start taking steps of demoting them and probably dismissing some of them if they cannot perform?
Now,
we have
Doctor,
thousands and hundreds of unemployed youths who can be committed, who have passion, who can be patriotic. Why can't we re-engage a fresh blood and flush out this old egg who cannot perform, who have been underperforming, who cannot secure the nation? And many times, I want to tell you, let me cite an example to you. In one of the communities I know in northern Nigeria, one community where you have the military camp is surrounded by over 7 communities that are under the authority and governance by bandits. The military only have the permission from the bandits to escort the community members to the market on Thursday and Sunday. This is Nigeria for you, and this is Nigeria we are into.
Doctor,
we have many of this in and why is it only happening in northern Nigeria?
Doctor, you've raised a very big question this morning, and I'd like to take our mind back a little bit into 2022, where we saw the governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, asking for the federal government to allow Nigerians to carry arms to protect themselves. Now, if in Zamfara or Plateau State or any part of the northern states, bandits are the one in control and even giving directive to the Nigerian army, it literally would mean that nobody is safe in this country. Now, at this point, when the Nigerian government has failed the Nigerian people, the Nigerian armed forces has failed the Nigerian people, what would you propose would be the way out? Will you join the likes of former governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, to ask for Nigerians to resort to self-help and carrying of arms to protect themselves?
Well, the reality is that what is on ground now, in many communities, in many parts of northern Nigeria, Plateau State inclusive, and even Benue State inclusive, even before Samuel Otom talked about the need for Nigerians to possess arms so that they can be able to protect themselves. I want to tell you that the level of armed proliferation in this country, especially in this part of the country, northern Nigeria, especially in the areas where they are suffering from these atrocities, there are arms, thousands and hundreds of arms in their hands already, and they are buying by day. There are
In the
several
hands of
questions
the
to ask.
masses or in the hands of the bandits?
If the bandits and the masses are having arms now. The bandits are buying more, and the community members are buying more. Only that the bandits have the capacity, have more capacity than the communities. And even the criminals, those who are committing the atrocities, those Biroms and those Fulanis in Plateau State, all of them are in possession of arms. And all of them are being instigated and are being financed by somebody at the back door.
One of the questions we'll ask this morning, Dr. Getso, is what exactly is instigating this level of insecurity in the north? Now, this attack on Mango local government area of Plateau State, what are the bandits looking for? Is it that they just want blood to spill, or are they looking for lands in Plateau? We must also bring it forward to you this morning that, of course, the United Nations has asked for a probe, because that same local government has also intimated of the fact that these same bandits has sent them a letter intimating them of another attack today, being the 29th day of December 2023. If there's a repetition of what happened the first time, what can the masses do at this point?
Well, to be optimistic and to be realistic, the issue is that those who are committing those offenses, they know themselves, and they must have either directly or indirect relationship. And United Nations intervention cannot work in Nigeria, as it never worked in Israel and many other parts of the world. So United Nations have lost ground. Let's forget about United Nations. Let's look at ourselves, Nigerians. Those in Plateau, the Birom and the Fulani, who have been fighting one another over decades, they all know their ancestors and they all know their grand families. Why do they have to fight at this years? Why was it in the record that there was such fight and killings among their grandparents and so on? So there are a number of questions that have no answers. But the fact of the matter is the inability of the government, is a negligence from the government, is a negligence, and that computing aspect of the security agencies who are not working in synergy. And they all know who are responsible. The government knows who are responsible for all these finances, and who are responsible and who are backing Fulani and who are backing the Birom or any other tribe that is in Plateau or any other part of the country.
Now, the question will be the information about how late the Nigerian military was to get to the rescue of the people of Mangu local government and the 16 communities, attacked on 25th of December is out there in the open. The papers are reporting it. The mainstream media is reporting it. Dr. Getso, who is going to call the Nigerian military, Taurid Lakbaja and co? Who is going to call them and ask questions? Why was there a delay, in the Nigerian military going to the rescue of this community when before the attack they had been given the letter alert? They had been told when the attack started, distress calls were sent out to them, but it took 48 hours, making 2 days straight for them to be able to be infiltrated as communities.
The question is, this is not new in northern Nigeria, and this is not only peculiar to Plateau. This is exactly what is going on in Zamfara. This is exactly what is going on in Niger. This is exactly what is going on in Kaduna. This is exactly what is going on in Katsina. This is exactly what is going on in Borno. This is exactly what is going on in almost all parts of the country, especially in northern Nigeria.